Well, this week's episode is about the Tucson Botanical Gardens. Al and I have been in Arizona for the last 3 weeks, visiting both his side and my side of the families for the holidays. And one of the highlights of things that we did was visit the Tucson Botanical Gardens. It's about 5.5 acres right in the middle of Tucson, very much an urban oasis. It's got about 20 of these garden rooms, and it is gorgeous. It was actually ranked number 4 by USA Today in 2025. Here's one of those cactus that looks like you just want to touch it because it's furry, but you shouldn't. The weather was gorgeous every day, and check it out. Peppers still producing like mad. Inside, one of the exhibits is newer and it's called Frida's Garden. It's inspired by the painter Frida Kahlo. Her garden is actually in Mexico City. It's called the La Casa Azul. But this one is created within a Frida blue set of walls, and it features a scaled down version of what hers looks like. It's Aztec inspired. It has pyramid, the toad pond, and it'll honor her, but it's kind of has a southwestern twist to it. It was a lovely, lovely area. As you visit each of the gardens, you'll see so many different things. There's a giant cactus and succulent garden, of course, but it displays over 500 varieties of cacti and succulents, not only from the Tucson area, but deserts around the world, kind of adapting to the beauty of the area. There is a Zen garden, which has a tranquil space for contemplation. There's a barrio garden, which sort of honors the traditional Mexican American neighborhood gardens of Tucson. There's also areas that have native crops and herbs, and they've repurposed everyday objects as planters. There's a lovely herb garden styled after a Victorian garden. There is a small shade garden, sensory ramadas, and there's a xeriscape garden which demonstrates low water landscaping ideas, offering inspiration for sustainable home gardening in the Tucson and other Arizona areas. There were water features throughout. It was so interesting to see how many things were actually still in bloom within the garden walls. This shrimp plant was amazing. I kept staring at it. There were lots of blooms all around. Look at that agave behind me. Well, this area is the Great Garden Express, a permanent G-scale exhibit, and it runs through an Arizona-inspired landscape, local landmarks made from all natural materials. Quite interesting. The buildings are recognizable in many cases, and the trains were all decked out for Christmas. It was fascinating. You had to spend a lot of time in this little garden room because there were things going on below you, above you, right at eye level, and all were done in such amazing detail. A variety of intricate models of landmarks. This is the Mission San Xavier del Bac. And boy, it was crazy the detail. Just the attention to the detail of every building and every amenity, the trestles that were built. It's just something to be seen for sure. Now, surprisingly, a lot of things were in bloom and not just annuals within the garden itself. Oh, this was a wonderful kaleidoscope that you could look through and see the plants. And it would change, of course, as you twisted the kaleidoscope. This was a great area to just wander through and have a moment of relaxation. Oh, did I enjoy the butterfly garden. This actually goes only from October to May. I guess it's just too doggone hot the rest of the year. But there were so many varieties of butterflies. I did not want to leave, but it really was warm in there. And they actually have a lot of exotic orchids from all over the world in there as well. But you just have to go in there and be very still so that the butterflies will just float around you. And I was chasing a blue one for the longest time to try and get them on film. But they did give us quite a show. It was a wonderful memory from the trip. There's the blue one that I caught with its wings open because the underside are browns. And this is the lab where they will hatch the chrysalis. And it was really, really interesting to watch. This video doesn't show the justice to it. And of course, it was Christmas time, so there were plenty of Christmas decor set out to be viewed, and the citrus were in bloom. This was the coolest tree. It's called a feather bush. And I just loved this structure. I took way more pictures than I'm showing you here because I would love to recreate this in our yard or something similar because it's such a striking structure. Funny. These are houseplants here in Chicagoland. They're not pretty outside. Well, even a series of annuals here and there. The kitchen courtyard was very interesting to me, but of course, it's displaying mostly the brassicas and that type of thing at this time of year. But it was fun to see how they go about doing things in a desert environment. And then the cactus, they're so fascinating. But you want to watch where you walk. You don't want to fall back into any of these plants because they will bite you. They're meant to be appreciated with the eyes rather than the touch. The varieties they had here were just so amazing. That one's called the fish hook. As you can see, it curls at the end. And the desert seems like it's all one tone, but it's definitely not. There is a lot of variety, variegation, and color. You just have to look for it. Interesting colors and textures all around. Some of the cactus, of course, were in bloom, others weren't. I think you see the most blooms in the springtime from when we've been there in years gone by. Oh, I spent a bit catching this hummingbird on film. So busy. And we saw a lot of doves and quail that I chased around a bit too to get on film. But they were busy. They weren't stopping to pose for me. This was another kitchen section of edibles in the garden. Uh, this seemed more like a bit of an enabled raised bed garden. And there still were lots of peppers and tomatoes yet to come, but along with the winter crops, the brassicas and the peas, that type of thing. Very, very interesting. There was corn, but it had passed. Ooh, this wall was so striking and well done. Well, the following evening, we were back at this beautiful Tucson Botanical Gardens to catch the lights up show, the whole garden illuminated at night, and it did not disappoint. So just sit back and enjoy a wander as we did through this magic. Happy New Year, everyone. I'll be taking a short break to mend a broken shoulder, and I will miss you all, but I'll be watching. Remember, sometimes the only thing we harvest is knowledge, and that's okay. Bye for now. We'll see you on the next one.